So I'd like to introduce our facilitator for today, Ayan Nurie. She is a conflict analyst, a mediation support, and she does peace building. Let's welcome her with a round of applause, tafadhali. And can you move forward, tafadhali? Tusonge mbele kidogo tu. Let us feel these artists. Please, tafadhali, nawaomba. Tusonge mbele, tafadhali, usiogope. You don't have to be shy. You don't have to be shy. We're free.
Thank you. That's what they do for politicians. That's what I do. When it comes to politics, I always stay behind the scenes, not because I don't like politics, but in the world that we live in today, what do we say about politics? It's messy. Those are politicians, those are politicians at the back there. I'm not speaking to you directly, but generally, they say politics is messy, they call it a swamp, it's chaotic, but do not forget that we have the good and the bad. And the good parts that we always not just we, but all institutions that you see at the continental level, university, at the national level, they try to focus on the good part, which is good governance, democracy, deep democracy, participation, so on and so forth. So I have a PowerPoint presentation, and given that we are way behind schedule, and that the student leaders were here, I did not want to interrupt because I got a sense that it's not so often that you're given these kinds of platforms where you interact with the student leaders, air opinions. That is part of participatory political processes, right? So I wanted you guys to speak out, raise your concerns, interrogate, so that you see how best your issues can be resolved. There's something that one of the student leaders here said, don't shy away, and actually it was the dean, I think, right? So don't shy away from raising your concerns. Going back, my name is Ayan. I have worked in the whole of Africa for the last 10 years. I have been doing conflict analysis, mediation support, dialogue facilitation, conflict resolution, conflict management, everything we've been doing, working within the whole of Africa was mainly with the aim and objective of building peace, so peace building. My session today was to speak to you about peace building in general, try to see if we can engage to understand what the causes of conflict are. So general idea of what causes conflict, it could be in Africa generally, or in Kenya, looking back what causes conflict here at the national level, trying to localize that context. And then look at the different strategies we have for peace building. And lastly, what you think as the young people of Kenya, what your role is in peace building. And try as much as you can to connect peace building to political processes. And we have our colleagues from Badili, who will as well coming where they're required to, where they needed to. So to start with, I'm just going to ask a question, and remember, no wrong answers, right? Everything is right. So however you understand, what is it called? That's how you explain or define it. So we're going to start with a definition of peace. Everyone, how do you understand peace? What do you think of when you hear peace? Before we get into the topic of peace building, let's look at some of the concepts. Peace building, conflict resolution. We're not going to get into that. We'll just look at two. What is peace building and peace, and how do you understand, what is your understanding of peace? Please, anyone, just raise your hand or even speak up. You don't have to to survive. Anyone, what do you think when you hear this, the number of politics?
To me, I think peace is a tranquil word.
All things that you said, tranquility, coexistence, calmness, living peacefully or coexisting. Anyone else, just shout if you want to. Please remember, it's free space, the students have left. The recording is all this way, so yes.
You have said there's no right or wrong answer.
No.
So my definition of peace is when there is a state of calmness.
Yeah.
There is serenity. Things can move on so well without any glitches.
Okay, perfect. Anyone else wants to contribute? How do you understand peace? What do you think when you hear of the term peace? Yes. You can shout when you know what it is. I want you to be
For me, peace, I'd say in layman's language, there's no disturbance of the head.
Okay. Perfect. There is no disturbance. Anyone else? That's okay. Harmonious living, exactly. All true. That is what peace is, right? And where the field that we work in peace building, and when we look at the scholars, I don't know if there are any students in international studies here. Scholars, practitioners of peace building sometimes define they go way beyond the state of calmness, tranquility, where there's no disturbance, and living, coexisting together. They look beyond that, and when they look at peace, their very basic definition that they always fall back to is the absence of violence. So they define peace as the absence of violence. Everything else that you have said, yes, plus when we're looking at a state where there's no violence, then they say that state is peaceful, or that country is peaceful. Then there are those that go beyond that and say that the absence of violence, direct violence, the violence that we see. So it means we are hearing this news coming out, people are fighting, people are fighting at each other, what is happening in Sudan, what happened in South Sudan, Kenya, we remember post-election violence, so now we are at war. There was no peace. So the absence of direct violence, that will be called peace, that will be defined as peace. But then the others who also go beyond that and say, yes, we see that there is no direct violence. We're not seeing people fighting, on the streets. But how about other types of peace? Are you talking about structural? Is there structural violence? Cultural violence? Is there inequality? Is there discrimination? Is there marginalization? And if you have all that...
Okay. So you tell us your name and what you do. That's the first question, basically. Just introduce yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Ayan Nurie. Some people call me Nurie, others Ayan, but my first name is Ayan. I've worked in, or rather still work in the field of peace and security, peace building, dialogue facilitation, conflict resolution, conflict management, and all the products that come with peace building. For the last 10 years, I've been involved mainly in peace building.
Mainly in peace building.
Mainly in peace building. Yeah.
That's nice. And judging from just the session today, and with the students and also the glam session that's currently ongoing, what did you make of it? How is it going for you so far?
It's been quite insightful. Oftentimes when we try to engage the youth, young people are always seen or mostly seen as, you know, the ones that are on the streets demonstrating, which to an extent is true. We've seen what has been happening in the region. Young people take at the forefront of, you know, requesting or rather demanding for change in the political processes, in democratic processes and all that. Here today, listening to the young people of JKUAT, it's insightful to see that they are well informed and aware of their issues, of their concerns. They have their views, and they have been debating and dialoguing on the best platforms that they can use to air these issues. So I felt that when we talk about young people and the challenges that come up usually are, oh, young people don't have the skills, they don't have the capacity. But when you come to them in their platform, in their setup as they are, they do have everything that you don't need a young person to have 7 years of experience in whatever field you want to engage them in. They're still young. So that is their space, and that's where they are, and that's where you're supposed to engage them. And having worked in these fields for 10 years now, I'm seeing it's making sense that the type of experience that I look for in a different person is not the same that I'll be looking for in young people, because young people are in their space, they know their issues, and looking for opportunities to create platforms to air out those issues and concerns. Yeah.
And just to add on top of what you've said, the young people that we are normally interacting with nowadays are just Gen Zs, 97 to 2012.
Yes.
Gen Zs. And why is it that people actually don't like giving young people platforms to actually mitigate certain issues or talk about what's happening in the country, or being given a chance to actually just run the country? Because it's always that our time is coming, but it has never come.
That's never, yeah. Yes.
Wakati wetu bado. So I'm just curious on when it comes to peace building and everything, because we young people are the ones who are actually used by politicians when it comes to campaigns and when it comes to the mandamanos and everything. Why is it that we have, like, the young people are always overlooked? You just have to fight for your space, yet the space is created for you, but it's not really created for you.
I think one thing I will probably point to is accessibility. Young people are easy to access by the politicians, I will say. You'll find them in institutions, they will be at the university. If a politician today drove by and just stopped somewhere on the road, there'll be hundreds of young people that surround him. So I think also unemployment, because they are not actively employed, so they are available and accessible. They know how to target them and how to get them. And as well as, you know, young people not having continuous dialogue and continuous engagement with these people for them to interrogate. So by the time politicians are getting to young people, they know where the gaps are and they know how to target them. So to answer the question on why is it that politicians use young people for mandamano and all that, it could be because of that. High rates of unemployment and also accessibility, how easy it is for them to access the younger people. The reason mostly it's called Gen Z, right?
Yeah,
and
Gen
now
Z.
Gen Z, the reservations that I have seen that are coming from other generations in terms of engaging younger people, I think it's a norm. There has been a way, there has been a way of doing things. And this generation is shifting that norm. It's changing. So you will see people, you know, older people having a difficult time also adapting to the way Gen Z do things. This new generation, Generation Z, the way they do things. They're very outspoken. You know, they speak their mind. Sometimes that can be seen as, you know, creating chaos in a way, and that's why I think they are not mainly engaged by the political spaces
And also there's lack of interest from our side also, from us Gen Zs kidogo. Yeah, but just to wrap it up, what would you like to tell that young person that's actually thinking of getting into this peace and conflict, governance space, politics, but they're actually too scared? That young girl who actually is in the urban informal settlements in an institution of higher learning, that's actually thinking of, I can actually make a change, I can get involved, but they are a bit skeptical about, is it really the right move? What can you tell them?
I mean, I wouldn't know if there's ever, at this age, a person who thinks this is exactly the right career, because...
Not career-wise, let's say just student politics or student governance, or just being an active member of society and just taking part in governance processes.
If I was to talk to the young people, and I did earlier on talking to them, keep engaging. There are challenges. You will find all these kinds of bottlenecks on the way. But if you have interest in politics and in governance, political processes, democratic processes, there are very many within that entire, thematic area. I will say, don't tire. Just keep on engaging, going to the forums that exist, platforms wherever you hear there's, people are converging to speak on these issues. Get into those spaces and continue. Don't give up.
Did everyone get the question? It's about the female leader that you look up to and why you look up to them. It doesn't have to be within Kenya. You can name whichever, from wherever.
Okay, so she's late. The late Wangari Maathai. Yeah, I really look up to her. She's dead, I know, but I really look up to her. And also Mekati Lili Wamenza. Yeah, I think those people really tried bringing out, female being leaders. For example, Mekati Lili. The thing with the cost people telling them to go to fight. Yeah. And then Wangari Maathai with the environment. How many people have gone to Karura? Karura Forest. Yeah, you've seen the trees that she has grown. There's a section actually for herbal trees, yeah. So I really look up to her, Wangari Maathai, yeah.
Maybe I can ask you a question. So what would you take from Wangari, like whatever you look up to her from, how do you think that would impact you as a female leader in future?
Yeah, so as a female leader, I understand that I'm leading as a leader, but I understand I should also take care of the environment that I'm around. So I'm leading the people, also I should take care of the environment as well. So I borrow that from her.
Okay, pass to your neighbor.
What is actually going on? So you like just have pictures in your mind and you get to assume things and life moves on. The best part about like being an adult is like you're free. You get to go through things that like make you feel different kinds of ways, and like you get to feel the most of emotions. Juu ukiwa mtoto hujuangi nini and unakuanga tu like you're just there, but ukiwa adult unahitiwa na heartbreak and you're like okay. The next minute like someone does like something to you and you're like, so I don't know, I just think the mixture of adventure that comes with being an adult is like it. Yeah.
So how many people, if you're told to go back, or stay, which one are you thinking? Staying, if you're told you go back to being a child, or do you stay being an adult? How many are staying?
I have a question before the answer. With the same experience,
now.
The same way it was?
Yeah.
I'm staying.
Staying? How many are staying?
Adult. We get to grow to being an adult.
Because I'm not adulting forever. I mean, it took me
back.
It's not like you carry the experiences when you're a kid. Like but everything.
But
You see,
everything the same way.
the constant is life as you have known and life as it has known. Hakuna iti, oh, say if I go back, tutakula ice cream kila. It's just what you know. How many are staying?
I got them.
Stay. How many are going back?
Hey, me mungu.
Hey, you guys are going back to do what?
The same thing we did.
I'd rather adults than childhood.
Same.
I'm walking. Sijui nimetembea vibaya. Now an adult wants to beat me.
Yeah, like
What have I done? Alafu kujitetea.
But me, that's what I like hated.
I was like, I'm making sense. What I'm saying makes but I'm late. But I'm making sense. What I'm saying is making sense. Unachapwa. Yeah, what you're saying.
I think on an individual level, me, I'd really prefer. What was the question again?
Could you stay or
Could I stay? Being a kid as an individual, for me, and I thank God for my parents, like, at least they were present, and for every decision that I would make, at least they were there. So I'd basically not have my way in everything, but at least most of the things were provided for. Looking at it as an adult, right now, yeah, I'm self-aware and I'm able to like make my own decisions. I have the freedom. I've been able to know so much. But then it comes a time where when I'm in my room, I'm like, no, me, I want to go back home. Me, all these things, all this pressure. But I know when I go back, I think it's the bills, of course, the bills, and having to. Okay, right now, as I am currently in my last semester, so right now I have to start figuring out, okay, when I'm done here, what am I going to do afterwards? What am I supposed to do? Of course, my parents provide the avenue and they tell me that it's okay to actually not be able to figure out things right now, but then with the pressure around your friends, the pressure around you, you're like, no, me, I have to figure this out. Because, okay, when I'm done, will I go back home? No, me, I want to go out to the world. I want to be able to do things. Yeah, so basically just being an adult, it's nice, but then the pressure that comes with actually even conforming to the whatever everyone is doing is what makes it a little bit hard. But then being able to have the freedom, being able to have the self-awareness, to be able to discover the organizations that we've basically seen around here, that is such a good thing. But then being a kid was way, way better. I mean, I will not trade anything for that. I'd go back. Yeah, so yeah, thank you.
Haya. Does anyone else want to say? Okay. Me nabaki. Hata baby. Especially if we are coming back. Like,
Bye, Africa.